Hey and welcome to Mini Gokin Reviews. Today we're looking at the Storm Collectibles Kenshiro. Not Kasumi Kenshiro, cause that's his fucking uncle. Brace yourself. This might be surprising to hear. Fist of the North Star is actually one of my favorite series ever. And this was made in celebration of its 40th anniversary. I had to get it. So what is Fist of the North Star? Well, it's about a big burly man who touches other big burly men, but in a special way that makes them feel funny, then causes white fluids to uncontrollably burst out of them. Thank you, censorship, that's not weirdly homoerotic at all. Outside of the hyper-masculine 80s action hero aesthetics, there's a shocking amount of heart to it, which despite scenes not being too well set up and it being quite clear to me that things are being written and rewritten as they're happening, the scenes still manage to have emotional weight to them. Besides, how can you not love Tetsuo Hara's art style? Look at those muscles. Before we go any further, while I think this might be the best Kenshiro head sculpt I've seen on a figure, I will have to admit that this is still slightly off. But it's slight enough that to me this is still very good. You'd be shocked by how difficult it is to actually get his face right. Remember when Kenshiro looked like this and was voiced by Dio? I prefer not to. And most figures of him just look wrong, even ones that are over $1,000. Those eyes. What's up with those eyes? It's a shame, because in concept I love this. I also love this one in concept, but all the faces on it look fucky. Ugh. I've even tried my own hand at it. Shit's hard to make look right. I do believe that this figure is the most correct looking Kenshiro figure I've ever seen. You might disagree based on the clothes and the hair color. In some adaptations he has brown hair, and some he has blue hair, and typically he has blue clothes. So what gives? Well, Storm Collectibles actually got Bronson and Tetsuo Hara's input on this figure. And something Tetsuo Hara does that I love is the majestic way he bathes his illustrations in blue, red, and yellow. So even if the clothes are actually black, they'll appear blue. And if you're doing an illustration or anime adaptation, you'll want to color them something that stands out. Despite how Kenshiro is supposed to look like a combination between Mad Max, Sylvester Stallone, and Bruce Lee, which he certainly resembles here in black. While I do prefer the more vibrant blue-colored Kenshiro, generally this looks fantastic. Being all the previous mentioned things, Kenshiro has a very appealing design, which was adapted into figure form very well. You can just feel the power from this design. Not to mention, at 1/6 scale they have more room to use flexible materials to cover up the joints, except for the shoulders, which does make him look like he's got those inflatable muscles from SpongeBob, but you can cover it with the jacket, and besides, it's necessary because in order to get realistic articulation out of them, you can't use flexible material due to potential breakage when articulated. Speaking of articulation, unfortunately they chose to use real leather for the clothes, which will naturally fray. So while you can get some pretty good poses out of this, you're not gonna want to. I also won't be articulating it as much. Technically, his jacket fraying is lore accurate, but Kenshiro's pants probably won't make it to the 45th anniversary. Which is realistic, but kinda shit. Really wish they just used faux leather. But I guess things getting worse over time is the premium experience. Anyway. It annoys me when I look at promotional images with a lot of different poses, but the figure only has one head option. This figure has only one head option. I thought of making another one myself, but then I had to make the rest of his hair, and fuck that. Hands. So many hands. That's it. Size comparisons. Guts and guts. Overall, I don't think I can recommend this, unless you're good with the price and don't mind that they used actual leather here. I'm just glad I got this from Gundamit, which I personally use and like a lot. You can't get this from there because it already sold out, but you can get other Storm Collectibles figures there, so check them out. And use my code. There are consequences if you don't. That's about it. Thank you to the patrons. Nani? This guy's a fucking idiot. Of course, thank you to Photon Lab Reviews for their recording contributions, and I'll see y'all next time.